Hello there, friends. It's Gina K release day for April 2025, and I'm so excited to be here with you today. I'm Megan Andrew, and welcome to my channel. Today, I'm going to be using a bundle called Hand-Picked Flowers. It's really gorgeous, and if you took part in our Crop and Create Delivered card making event with SCT Magazine, you may recognize this set. However, I hope today's video will give you some fresh ideas using it, and I'm going to be using an add-on product that you might want to pick up too. If you're brand new to Gina K Designs, I hope these products will really inspire you to create a handmade card this week. Let's get right to my table. So this is the bundle that I'm creating with today. It is called Hand-Picked Flowers. The bundle includes a stamp, this gorgeous 6x8 stamp set. It has a really large floral, a smaller bud, and then some pieces here that you can fill in. It has 4 sentiments: thankful for you, thinking of you, friends like you are such a gift, which I really love, and so sorry. Then you have the coordinating die set to cut out everything you see on the stamp. And then you have the art stencils as well. So there are 4 stencils that fully color in the florals. The one add-on that I think you just have to have if you have this bundle is the Poly-Glaze foiling sheets. So this will work with your fuse foiling system, or if you have a mink, you can use that as well, and your foil to create beautiful foil designs. So you get all of the florals that you would find on the stamp, lots of sheets of those, as well as 2 full sheets of the sentiments. So let's get started on creating a card. I have an idea, and because I have such a large floral, I want to create a window card. I've not done that before, and so I thought, why not today? So let's get right to it. I have my Hand-Picked Flowers Poly-Glaze sheet. I don't need the bottom flowers, and so I'm just going to cut off the top portion using my Gina K trimmer. I am going to grab a Swiffer duster and wipe off my Poly-Glaze to make sure that there is no dust on there. And then I'll place my black Onyx foil on top. I really love this foil because it gives you those nice black lines with a bit of shine. And then I will grab my carrier sheet. This is what you need to feed it through your fuse machine. Just gonna make sure that's straight in my carrier sheet. I am going to feed it through the fuse, and I have it set on a setting of 3. Okay, now for the reveal. Gorgeous. Really, really beautiful. Look at how detailed that is, and look at the way the light catches that foil. I love the black onyx because it's kind of unexpected. When you tilt it one way, you realize that it's foiled. It's just really gorgeous. So I'm going to do the same thing with my sentiment, and I'm going to choose friends like you are such a gift. I want to make sure that I cut it out with some space around it so that I can use the coordinating die, because the great thing about Poly-Glaze and the Poly-Glaze coordinating sets is that if you have the bundle, the die will cut out the Poly-Glaze images and sentiments, which I love. Okay, so I'm going to use this section right here, and I think that is going to be just perfect. Okay, let's take a look at that sentiment. And there we go. This stamp that I'm using here is called Double Backgrounds 1, and it is also a grip mat. So on one side you have your stamp, on the other side it's just solid. So I'm using this to hold my image in place while I stencil. I'm going to start with the largest flower. I think I would call this a rose. And I've chosen orchid ink, so light, medium, and dark orchid. I think these colors are just so pretty. I'm cleaning off my brush to make sure that I don't have any other colors on there. And I'm starting with light orchid. Just going to do an overall, just an overall blend of light orchid. I'm going to go darker as I get into the middle of the flower. So I'm going to kind of start in the middle and work my way out. Notice that I'm switching brushes here from the light to the medium orchid. Next, I'm going to grab that detail brush to go with the dark orchid. Kind of get into the center here. Then you can go and put some darker shading around these outer petals here that are kind of tucked underneath. So this is why it's good to use a few different brushes to try to get that variation of color that you would see in real life. It's beautiful. Okay, let's place the next stencil on. We're going to follow the same formula. So pretty. Just to let you know, your detail brushes are going to give you your most saturated color because there's a smaller brush, shorter brushes, and so you want to be really sure that when you're using them, you don't put too much ink on your brush, or else you're going to get some very harsh lines. I also like to kind of swirl into the design from around the edges to kind of soften it that way too. So let's take a look at this. Gorgeous flowers. For my leaves, I'm using Jelly Bean Green and fresh picked asparagus. So I'm starting out with Jelly Bean Green and just doing an overall color here. And then I'm using my smaller brush for the fresh asparagus. And I'm just going to create a little bit of that shading. Beautiful. Let's take a look at the whole image stenciled in. Isn't that gorgeous? For my Poly-Glaze flowers, I am going to use the coordinating die from the Hand Pick Flowers bundle to cut out my floral. Okay, so that is cut out. Next, I'm going to grab my Friends Like You Are Such a Gift sentiment, and I am going to cut this out with my Intri-Cut Mini. I am also going to cut this 2 more times so that I can layer up my sentiment and give it some dimension. So I have never created a window card before. I love using frames, and so my idea was to create a card with this nice thick frame. And for this one I used Master Layouts 18. So here's the frame for that one. I die cut that twice out of white 100-pound cardstock and adhered that together to make it nice and rigid. But I want the center to show through to the inside of the card. And then I can put a sentiment right in the center that is hidden by this rose. Now I have a folded card base here using Nina Classic Crest Solar White, and I have this additional rectangle die from Master Layouts 18. So I'm going to get this placed in the center. To help me a little bit, I'm grabbing my Gina K T-square. Just don't want it to move after you get it in position. Okay, so this layer is cut out. Now I have to cut out the front of my card base. So what I'm going to do is open up my card base, line this back up, hold it in place, and then put my die on the outside. Just like that. And you can feel, as soon as the die is on the outside, you can feel that. It kind of slips right into place. So then I can put my tape back on and die cut that out. Okay, so now my card base has the rectangle cut out, and I can put this back on top, and it should be perfectly lined up if I have it the right way around. There we go. So now you have your card base with the rectangle cut out of the front. Okay, next I'm going to adhere my two frames together, and then I can glue them around my opening. So I love that really beautiful white frame there. Then we can place our floral on the outside of the frame and adhere it to all of the edges. I'm going to make sure that there is no glue kind of seeping out from the back side on any of the flowers that I may have accidentally touched with glue, and just let that adhere for a few minutes. While my flower is adhering, I am going to grab the Friendly Wishes sentiment stamp. And actually, this is a bundle because I have all of the dies too. And I'm going to use Love You. And Love You will fit perfectly behind that large rose. I'm a little bit too chicken to do this on my actual card panel, on the inside of the panel, because if I mess up, then I've kind of ruined that and everything's glued down. So I'm going to stamp it onto white cardstock, ink it up with medium orchid. Let's see if I like this one. If not, we'll go to dark orchid and stamp. That looks very pretty. Then I'm just going to find the coordinating die and die cut that out. And then I can add my outside sentiment. Oh, it's so tricky where I want to put it. I think I like it right there though. Right there. And then I will let that dry. You may be asking, what if I want to write on the inside of my card, but you can see it through the window? So here's what I would do in that case. I have an 80 pound piece of white cardstock that I folded down into a card base, but it's 1/4 of an inch smaller. So then you will know it will fit in. It doesn't really matter the size, just the fact that it fits on the inside. So then I can adhere this inside here, right at the fold, and I've created kind of a double fold card there. And then your Love You would go here, just like that. And then your writing would go in here. So then you wouldn't see your writing through the window. Thanks so much for joining me as I use the new hand-picked flowers bundle and coordinating Poly-Glaze sheets to create my first window card. I really love it, and I think anyone who received it would love it too. Be sure to check out all of the products I used in the video description below by hitting the More button. And don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to see more videos from me. Be sure to hit the bell icon so that you get those notifications too. Thanks so much for joining me, friends, and happy creating.